the balance between light and dark, both in art and in the energy we are living in today's world, is a conflict of between trusting and not trusting those around us that do have difficulty within themselves of understanding their own value and speaking, and so they suppress within themselves these emotions that get stuck within us, that form a loop around us and create a blur between those we want to attract and those we desire. There comes a point where these transitions reflect in change, and when change happens, we sometimes miss what we could otherwise regain the value of far greater than what was serving us from before, because of these intertwining narratives that block us into suppressing our wildest emotions. And the narrative with art and how energy gets transmuted through the artist reveals a completely different world of what trust is. And trust comes in many shapes and forms that we are realizing with NFTs are unique within us, and what attracts us to these artists and communities on Web3, and how we understand trust from these connections. This is why I believe crypto changes the value of what we perceive as trustworthy, with the connections between art and the unconscious mind versus the conscious mind, and the living of our world in between the today and tomorrow, with the field of energy and how we use that energy to either suppress or reveal the emotion by talking through it. And how art can change that concept is by seeing the light of the artwork in a mirroring of what is stopping us from trusting ourselves with these trapped emotions within us. I was once told about a artwork in an exhibition, probably either London or in America, in one of the leading museums. And museums are a subculture of world communities coming together in one piece of narrating a story of a time when an individual was happy in there creating or travelling from continent to continent and learning everything in between, forming the cabinets of curiosities. And when I was learning this a long time ago, the identity of subculture played a role into what was popular within society, and the narrative of culture around forming that hub of creativity and creative thinking, and the way it flowed and was free in that flow. So as we are changing a changing state, we are allowing this to freely become the forefront of what is happening within Web3 in general. And for me, the long term is about having a safe environment to connect to communities around these subject areas that are of individual interest. Therefore, having an NFT token, becoming a part of that experience, making everyone feel valued regardless of their own involvement in the artwork in the first place. And I think a lot this will be stemming towards is mental health and self-care, and the way we take authority within us and the understanding of that void within us to understanding the void of colours we are becoming surrounded by, and how those colours have an effect upon our own mental health, and why we chose to be inspired by the artists who created that work and understanding them in our own journey. By sharing the things we are passionate about, is sharing the emotions of the inner journey we are reflecting upon through the receipt of the collector and the collection. And I've talked about the flags that happen during such cycles, and again I go back to the concept of what we are seeing is energy morphing into one and of itself. Because really there will be no bull or bear market, but it will all be one of the same. But what will be prevalent is the beginning of the heat of that energy that rides out the wave. And there is always going to be one that stands out from the crowd. One flag that stands out from the crowd that marks that change in the momentum from the hype to FOMO. And when we get more clear, we begin to understand the trends that will follow the narrative of those flags. But because they become so unique to the individual, the difficulty becomes in replicating that individualism. And we can only understand the way the artist has put the energy into their work over the course of their career, over the course of their lifetime, is because they have trusted within themselves every day to do something different, to push themselves further, to change and to learn, is to flow in their creation, their creativity, and how it's helped them in their own life, navigating their own journey, where they have this overwhelming value that becomes a part of that piece, is because of that way they have trusted to develop themselves in their own work, that becomes more than just work. It becomes a part of them. And you can go back to surrealism and see that surrealism, the major artworks that came from that time, and the major artists were the ones who employed surrealism as a lot more than just a movement. It became their lifestyle. It became their source of inspiration in their daily structure, and their fire in their own passion of understanding themselves. And we are beginning to see this narrative change from the old way of working to what serves us better in understanding our own passions. So I'm really wanting to kind of become more involved now in the community and understand this concept, to realize the movement that is happening and where this is all helping us gain a new perspective of wisdom from within. And we are seeing this within spirituality, and the popularity of spirituality reach a new juncture of this change through self-care and sovereignty, and what that means as a creator, and how we kind of go about what the new everyday, with technology aiding us in creating this shift out of a very difficult path to now kind of working with extremely new technology, unparalleled to other times. And where it all goes from here is to, I guess, explore it and have fun along the way.